If you try to win Q4 in November, you've already lost. The brands that really dominate Black Friday and Cyber Monday win in September and October. This is what we like to call list growing season, where you load the chamber with first-time buyers and new subscribers so your Q4 offer can print revenue. Today, I'm handing you over the exact playbook that we use at Breadloaf to set up monster Q4 results for our clients. We're gonna dive into budget splits, offers, pop-ups, re-engagements, sweepstakes, deliverability, and which channel to spin up now so November feels easy. What's up guys, Mark here, founder of Breadloaf. We specialize in building high leverage retention systems for Shopify and CPG brands. I've honestly lost count of how many Black Fridays I've been a part of. I think it's around 16 right now. And that's across brands that I've operated and started myself, my clients' brands, and also brands that I've operated working at other agencies. And these have been scrappy $1 million a year Shopify stores to enterprise brand launches. This episode is dedicated to your September and October checklist to front load demand and make Q4 a formality. In the next 10 minutes, this is what you're gonna get: a budget plan for September and October, and why 70% of top of funnel is the correct amount to be spending right now. We're gonna go over offer and calendar planning so you don't ship chaos in November. We're gonna talk about pop-up and opt-ins that are gonna upgrade your subscriber capture by 2 to 3x. We're gonna get into an October re-engagement plan. This is including a sweepstakes that actually works and is gonna help you move the needle with reactivating past subscribers. And we're gonna talk about a deliverability tune-up so your Gmail and Yahoo subscribers don't get throttled in your biggest months. Then we're gonna dive into channel extensions, how push and direct mail can compound what you're already doing through email and SMS. And then we're gonna talk about KPIs that you need to be tracking so you know that you're on pace. So why does list growing season exist in the first place? As acquisition gets more expensive the closer we get to Black Friday, CPMs and competition climb, creative burns faster, and you're fighting every category for the same eyeballs. Industry benchmarks showed CPMs push up in Q4 and accelerate spending pressure on Meta. So waiting to scale in November is just paying a premium for worse audiences. Translation: September and October are when you buy attention cheap, capture subscribers, and convert first touches into engaged people who will open, click, and buy when your offer hits. So let's start off with the September game plan. And first, we're gonna talk about budget splits. So in September and October, you wanna run paid media with intent. You want your top of funnel budget to represent at least 70% in September, and you wanna hold that posture into October. During this time, you're buying reach, and you're also buying email and phone numbers now so you can monetize them later. Middle to bottom of funnel will print in November and December. You don't wanna be over-optimizing for repeat purchase right now. That's gonna happen in November and December. Next, let's talk about creative and capture. So when it comes to creative angles with these ads, you wanna focus on problem solution UGC. That's 30 to 45 second product demos and video ads using seasonal use cases and gift-worthy storytelling. Next, you wanna make sure that you have the right landing page when it comes to subscriber acquisition. When the goal is a subscriber, send to a lead form or a dedicated lander. That's a fast single CTA, not a cluttered PDP. And you wanna make sure that you're measuring things across the board. What's your cost per subscriber? What's your percent on the SMS capture? What's your welcome series CVR? And what's your 90-day LTV versus your CPS? If your predictive LTV crushes CPS, then you're cooking. Next, we wanna talk about your pop-up and the offer upgrade. This is what you wanna get done this week. If you're still running that bland 10% off your first order that everyone ignores, change it right now and change it to one of these options I'm gonna tell you about right now. The first one is if you're running a 10%, just go to a straight 15 to 20% or $1 off with a minimum threshold of $20 to $100. Or secondly, try a mystery amount. Don't even reveal the offer until someone's already opted in. Next, we have gift with purchase. That photographs really well, and this is great, especially for high LTV products. When it comes to the pop-up, you're gonna wanna have a 2-step capture. Email first, then SMS for a bonus. Klaviyo's current list building playbook emphasizes segmenting high value behaviors and fueling lookalikes with those signals. Start on this now and make sure you're tying these audiences that you're collecting in these lists into your meta audience as well. This is what's gonna help you build that PII for your middle and bottom of funnel audiences as we go into November and December. Now let's talk about your offer and the calendar for Q4. This is what you wanna be finalizing this month. First off, you wanna dial in your primary offer. You do not wanna be winging it on Thanksgiving. You wanna get your offer dialed in, you wanna have it approved. You wanna make sure that your whole executive team has signed off on this offer and that you have core projections that are gonna map out against your revenue goals for all of Q4. All of these things need to be done now. This isn't something that you just whip up, some marketing manager thinks of last minute, An offer is fundamentally the biggest piece of your calendar because it's going to dictate what type of performance you have and also what type of messaging is going to be included in everything. Next, you want to create those exact dates. For early access, BFCM, post BFCM, you want to make sure that you get these dates aligned. And once you have the exact dates, you want to create the creative briefs. You need a creative brief for each campaign. This creative brief is essentially going to be the guidelines that your copy team and your design team and your build-out team follow to make sure they have everything they need to create these beautiful campaigns that are hitting the objectives of the business. And next, you need a channel plan. Email, SMS cadence, push, direct mail drops. Klaviyo's 2025 BFCM guide is a good lens for building omnichannel calendars and segmentation by segments. Steal those bones, it's great. You know I love Klaviyo, I'll put a link to it below. And now we wanna talk about setting realistic revenue goals. You want to start off by basing your revenue goals on last year's Q4. You need a baseline to start off with. You also want to understand what's your active engaged list size and what's your growth rate and what are some of your projections. And then once you have this, you can start mapping things out. You want to target your Q4 goals. You want to look at last Q4 times your growth assumptions plus your new subscribers and your expected EPC. This is a very simple formula that's going to help you get an idea on realistically and conservatively what you can achieve this year and what type of campaigns and offer and effort is necessary behind the marketing team to support this. Next, you're going to want to pressure test with 3 scenarios: a base, a stretch, and a moonshot. And you need to make sure that you actually have the right inventory to work with these numbers. So now let's get into October, which I like to call the re-engagement month. Your job in October is to wake up as many new and old subscribers as possible with opens, clicks, and replies. So mailbox providers see you as a wanted email when you go hard in November. And the first thing you're gonna wanna do here is have a deliverability tune-up. Make sure you're compliant with Gmail and Yahoo's bulk sender rules, that you have your proper SPF, DKIM, DMARC reference set up, that you have low complaint rate and one-click unsubscribes on your promos. If you're sending 5,000 plus emails a day to Gmail, these aren't nice to haves, they're actually required. Not to mention Gmail and Yahoo, but let's also talk about Apple Mail. iOS 26 just got released and we have the same updates. I just did a video on that recently. If you haven't watched it yet, take a look at it. It's really good and it breaks down everything you need to know about iOS updates and how it's affecting email and SMS in Q4. Next, let's talk about list hygiene and warm up. You want to run validation on cold records. You also want to shift unengaged subscribers to text heavy from the founder emails that are going to invite replies or actions. And then you're going to want to gradually increase the cadence on engaged segments. Keep unengaged on a warm-up track. And lastly, you're going to want to tighten the sunset rules before BFCM to protect your sender reputation. At the beginning of October, you're going to want to use a validation tool like Emailable to make sure you're cleaning up that list. And then you're going to want to run sweepstakes. So this is a framework I'm recommending our clients do this year. You want to give away some type of shopping spree, like a $2,000 BFCM shopping spree or a hero product bundle that people actually want. You're going to want to use a Klaviyo form that's going to collect email and SMS with clear terms, and also put in there that everyone that enters is going to get early access to the Black Friday sale. And you're going to want to promote this on all your organic and retention channels. Hit all of them: email, SMS. You can even run a little paid against this, your IG, TikTok stories, and app push if you have. So when it comes to legals, this is not financial advice. Make sure to check all the sweepstakes laws for your region before you launch anything. That's including eligibility, disclosures, and dates. So why does this even work and why should you be doing this in the first place? Well, it gets lapped customers to re-opt in and signals engagement into the inbox providers, so your BFCM emails actually land in the right inbox. And lastly, you want to prime your list with preview content. This includes gift guides with personas and pricing structures, gifts under 50, gifts under 100, gifts over 150, gifts for grandma, gifts for dad, gifts for the surfer, gifts for the snowboarder. You want to tease upcoming releases. And lastly, you want to have early access list-only messages with calendar ad links. Now I want to talk a little bit about the channels that are going to help compound your performance in Q4. The first one is app push. If you have a TapCard app, it's a must. You definitely want to be running push. If you don't have an app yet and you've been thinking about it, you could probably launch one right now, but you would have to be on it. I would recommend it more as something that you would launch in Q1. Now let's talk about direct mail, my favorite. Direct mail retargeting plugs the holes email can't reach. That's suppressed subscribers and people that are going to your spam folder. Blending direct mail with email is going to give you a massive incremental lift across your ROAS in 2025, specifically in Q4. And now I want to talk a little about the early access launch sequence that I promised you earlier. So here's a couple key anchor dates you want to have. Early access. You want to launch early access anywhere from 3 to 5 days before your public offer. And then don't forget Black Friday's on November 28th, 2025 this year, and Cyber Monday on December 1st. Now I want to get into a couple KPIs to track weekly throughout September and October. One, you want to be looking at new subscribers by week. That's new emails and new SMS subscribers each week. Next, you want to look at opt-in rates, and you want to look at opt-in rates site-wide and by source. The next, if you're spending any money on subscriber acquisition, you want to look at your CPS, which is cost per subscriber by channel and ad set. Next, you want to look at your welcome CVR and revenue per new sub in the last 30 days. And then you want to look at engagement list size. How many people have opened, clicked in the last 30 days and last 90 days? Then we have deliverability, spam complaint rate, inbox health, authentication status. These are super important things that your list manager needs to be monitored. In September, push 70% plus of your paid budget to top of funnel. Upgrade your subscriber pop-ups with better incentives, lock your offer and your calendar, and start building the list that's going to help you massively in November. In October, you want to re-engage hard, clean the list, comply with the new Gmail, Yahoo, and iOS 26 updates, and run a sweepstakes and warm up those audiences so your BFCM emails actually land in the inbox. And then when it comes to new channels, you want to layer in push for app exclusive deals and direct mail to reach beyond the inbox. Both show outsized impacts around BFCM when paired with email and SMS. And why now? Why is this important? Q4 media inflation is real. Buy attention early and then monetize later. If this helped, like this video so more founders can see it, and subscribe for deep dive retention breakdowns that I'm dropping all Q4. If you want me to turn today's plan into a checklist and a calendar template, drop list below in the comments and I'll hook you up. Go make September and October count so November feels like harvest season. And I'll see you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.